I'm gonna play more Nuclear Throne. Um, uh, try to beat it. But this game's very hard. I don't feel like I'm getting better at it either. I feel like I'm worse. I feel like a lot of games have that kind of middle ground where you start to understand things and then you overstep your bounds because you understand how the game works. And then you end up doing worse than you usually. But feel like you should never get hit on the first. We're just gonna restart. Okay. Here's my strategy. Pick Young Venus, because he is pretty awesome. He goes, ah, he's a gun god, god of guns. Christ. Okay. In it to win it. Oh, okay. Alright. This is not a good spawn. And since I spent some of the last episode talking about games from 2015, I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about games from 2016. They haven't come out yet. But I'm excited for them. First one up is Amplitude. It was a PS2 game I loved. It was, you know, before Harmonix made Rock Band, they made Amplitude and Frequency. And their basic concept was used in another game they did. I forget the name. It was a Rock Band like spin-off. But basically the idea is you're in these little lanes, and each instrument is a lane, and if you can nail a couple measures of one of the lanes, then that instrumental track is added to the overall song. And they're like just like in Rock Band, it's like actual songs. It's not just like, I don't know what else. Cheap techno thrills. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, I am doing so bad. It's not fair. It's just not fair. And the thing I'm worried about is I have yet to see how much it costs. And I feel like if it's like more than $15, then they screwed up. I really hope it's not, but I have an inkling it's going to be like $20, which is, you know, not an exorbitant money. I would pay that much to play the first Amplitude. Sure. But times have changed. I've changed. Especially because I feel, you know, the first Amplitude came out before DLC was a thing, so you got a bunch of songs, and that was it. And I feel like now, from a purely business sense, it would make more sense to just kind of have this platform where I can get the U2 bundle, and then like $5 to play Sunday Bloody Sunday in Amplitude, which is way less appealing from a financial and from like a just a still. Okay. Um, so Amplitude. And the other one, just in January, is The Witness by John Blow, who is the guy behind Braid. And Braid is like one of my favorite games ever. I think the concept and the execution on that are like masterclass. And it's unfortunate that so many indie games have kind of aped that style without really capturing what makes Braid so special. Like Limbo, perhaps. The much worse, like it's not exactly the same. Oh, ah. Braid, just the puzzle design and the stuff it does with like your character and the story as it plays out, and the graphics and the music. It's all just like. And this was like when indie platformers were like first starting off, and already there was this game that just like nailed every aspect of it. Okay. So anyway, he's got this new game. It's still a puzzle game, it sounds like, but you're like on an island, and the island is like filled with these like actual puzzles. Like they're on little stands and you go up to them. Which is on its face not as interesting as Braid, but I am pretty confident in this guy and his ability to make that into something interesting. And they've done a really good job of not letting a lot of that information out, so I don't have a very good sense of what that game is going to be, which is exciting. And I'm going to try to kind of go in as little an idea of what's going on as possible. Pretty easy nowadays to just kind of ruin it for yourself. Like, I feel like most games are kind of ruined for me. I don't even realize it, but just through happenstance on the internet, I have a pretty good idea of how most games end. It's just kind of something, sign of the times. You got all kinds of stuff. You got XCOM 2, which I feel like I didn't give the first XCOM, well, the first XCOM, the remake, the XCOM remake, enough of a chance. But I was also playing it on console, and I don't feel like that's the place to play it. But the second one is going to be PC only, which I think is. I've talked about how PC doesn't really have much to distinguish itself, and now you have this like major game coming out that's PC exclusive, if only for, like, I'm sure it'll end up on console eventually. For right now, it's PC exclusive, and that's. I think it's keyboard only. Game's garbage. And then you got Street Fighter 5, which is kind of my most anticipated game of the year. And I'm not going to sit here and say I'm an expert at fighting games, or even passably good at fighting games, but I just love fighting games. I love how ridiculous they are. I love the culture around them. I love how good you can get at them. Practice and practice and practice and practice. I love how they're just like competitive innately. And Street Fighter is kind of it's like, it hits that good middle ground where it's accessible, but it's also, you know, considered a masterclass fighting game. So it might not be the best fighting game, but it's not dumbed down for people like me. Because I wouldn't, if it was, I wouldn't like it. I wouldn't be in. And it's just like, sure, I'm better at it, but the point of fighting games is get good at them, because it is difficult to get. Oh my god, that was bad timing. Oh, that was bad video game playing. I don't know if I'm gonna get any. We're too mediocre at Nuclear Throne. Got that one on lock. Let's see. A Final Fantasy, which I'm excited for, because I'm that idiot who likes modern Final Fantasy. I'm playing Final Fantasy VII right now for the first time because I want to be ready for the remake. And I don't know how they're going to make that game nowadays. There's so much, like, weird stuff that feels like it is a result of that game. Like, when they made that game, they didn't know how to make 3D games, because that was like, this is our first big 3D RPG. Like, and I mean 3D, like, polygonal. And there's so much that comes out of that where it's like stuff that they would never do today. There's just like we've moved past that, but it's still like crazy cool. And also that game is just kind of like, it's kind of doofy and like cute in a way that I don't think this new game will be. Which isn't a bad thing, I guess, but like at some point, like when people weren't clamoring for them to like make Final Fantasy VII using a modern engine in the way they would make it now, they were looking for, I think, like a straight up remake of that game with better graphics, and I don't think that's what we're gonna get. So I don't think that appeal exists anymore. Like, I don't know who's, like, way into this remake. I think it'll be cool on its own. And I think it's cool conceptually, because we haven't really seen something like this before. This sucks. God. But as far as, like, Final Fantasy VII fanboys being way into it, I don't know if that's gonna... I don't know if that's gonna fly or not. We'll see. I'm gonna play it. I'm excited to play it. I think the idea of putting it in chapters is really... I think it makes a lot of sense. Especially if people are going to be buying this, you know, digitally. It makes so much sense to put out something like this in segments. I also think it makes sense, you know. I mean, that game was split up originally, 3 parts. It'd almost be weird if it wasn't split up into episodes or whatever. Now, if it's like 7 episodes or something instead of 3, then I don't know. Then it's just like. It's so hard to say because we don't know much about it. Oh, Cloud is in it. He's cool. He's tough. Actually, speaking of plot details, apparently Final Fantasy VII has a pretty nice twist in it. I somehow have no idea what that twist is. So it's going to be cool to experience that kind of naturally as God intended. Well, somebody spoils it for me. That's fine too. That's their prerogative. It doesn't really. Oh, I hate these guys. I'm just having fun playing it. It's a cool game. It's kind of repetitive in that way that JRPGs are repetitive. Like, oh god. Why? Why are there more? No. Oh my god, this is going bad. Ah! Oh, this is like the worst. Shoot. God. I want out. Oh, that was rough. That was not a good, I got a bad seed there somewhere. Man. And there's stuff like Far Cry Primal, and that just doesn't seem. It's like since 3, all they've done is, instead of like, I mean, 4 was basically 3 with a different mountain range, you know? It had a slightly different tone to it, but if Far Cry Primal is just Far Cry 3, but you're like a caveman dude, then like, it's so sad how Ubisoft like creates sequels where it's just like, this is exactly the same, but it's in a different time, but it's still part of the same story, sorta. It's like Assassin's Creed, like There's no progression going. I don't know. And then it's kind of unfortunate because, you know, Far Cry Primal comes out. And there's all these games now doing, like, caveman stuff and doing such cool... You got, like, Wild, which looks insane. And you've got Horizon, where you shoot robot dinosaurs and stuff. And then you got Far Cry Primal. It's like you fight a saber-toothed tiger. Like, cool. Cool. Can't wait to play that. I bet you'll climb up on something and then hit a button and it'll synchronize. That'll be cool. Yeah, I can feel good about myself as if my map fills up with little icons. Freaking cats. Then you got Quantum Break, which is cool mostly because it's by Remedy, who have made some of my favorite games. Max Payne, Alan Wake, which was not... There were so many cool ideas in Alan Wake, and it just wasn't the greatest game ever. And it kind of... The plot had its ups and downs. I don't know. There were moments in Alan Wake which are awesome. And then there's not good stuff. I haven't played this robot. I'm just gonna play this robot. I gotta go play Killer Instinct. Sick. Okay. Gotcha. And Persona 5, but I don't know how to say. I hope it does. Here, I can wait. Money a game. Really, we're at this point where... Shoot, I'm not... We're at this point where... There are going to be games coming out that I don't even... I'm not aware of. Like, Undertale, I didn't have any inkling that was gonna, you know, be so good and come out. Like, I didn't even know it existed. Like, here you go. So, it's exciting to me because... Even with all these, like, major games that I'm looking forward to, that I know are gonna come out, and they'll probably be pretty cool, there's still this, like, whole realm of games that will come out just because that's how it works, and I get to enjoy. And they'll probably be cheaper. Like 2 dudes made it. That's cool. I think we're at a point where indie games are kind of into their own. Shoot. Like this game. This game's pretty cool. I hate these rats! Want them to die? I don't want them to make more rats. Okay. Whew. Oh well. It's gonna blow me up. What I'd really like is, it'd be really cool if there was a game about, like, this is an awesome game that revitalizes the racing genre. I just do not care about racing games. And if there was a game that came out and just got me back into that, that would be awesome. I don't know. Maybe that game exists and I just don't know about it. I don't know. Hard to say. I don't think it does though. Really smart that the cars move when you shoot them. Like, that doesn't seem like a big deal, but the ability to kind of move them away from you shooting them. But then also having that possibly trigger an explosion. Oh my god. Screw this. This game's stupid. Well, I did not get an edge. I'm sorry. Sorry to you. I'm sorry.